What you're about to see is an episode of the Nerdiest After Show, which was our Patreon exclusive show back when we did that a couple years ago. And even though we don't have Patreon anymore, we still think the content is good and want to share it with you for free on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest After Show, the show after the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Jackson Glass, and we're so glad that you got to join us today on our Spotify paid tier. Thank you so much for your patronage. Thank you so much for supporting the show. As an independent production, we do everything. We do the planning, the editing, the recording, the everything, the scheduling, and it's just a lot of work, and we thank you so much for your support. And we're really glad that you guys are enjoying the movie club series. We've seen an increase in new people here, so if you're new, this is your first time, or you're just coming around, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate your support. Today, on the Nerdiest Movie Club, if you listened to our last episode, you know that it was my turn to pick a movie for us to watch that Nick has never seen. And that's why today we're talking about the 2002 hit film, Jordan Peele's Nope. That's right, 2022 hit film.
Okay. I was going to say.
Not 2002.
What? That's
2022
not right.
hit film, Jordan Peele's Nope. Now,
Nope.
I saw this movie in theaters, and then I think this is my fourth rewatch of this movie. This is cementing itself as one of my favorite movies. So I wanted to choose it, and I think there's an interesting conversation to have on it. So I'm here with my co-host, as always, my ride or die, Mr. Nick Barrett. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I watched this movie for the first time 2 days ago, and it was already in a really busy week, so I was trying to figure out where to slide it on the schedule to watch it, and I actually had to watch it in like two sections on Thursday, because I watched like the first hour, and then there was a break, and then I watched the rest at night. By the way, I don't know if this was the right movie for me to watch before going to bed.
That's what I did. That's what I did too.
But I got like halfway through, and I was like, I'm gonna need like a palate cleanser or something before I go to bed. Otherwise, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a minute. We'll get into I have thoughts, but we'll get into that in just a second. What's funny is we recorded yesterday for the main show. We did the top 10 Pixar movies, and we were supposed to do Demon Slayer season 2, but we both kind of checked our watches and we're like, we have to watch Nope and an entire season of Demon Slayer this week. And I was like, do you have the time for that? He was like,
Yeah.
I have something every night this week. So we decided to push Demon Slayer, but keep this episode for you wonderful paid listeners. So remember that. If you ever
Don't
feel
say
like
we
canceling,
never did
remember,
anything for you.
Don't say I never did anything for you. You could have been listening to Demon Slayer, but no. We wanted to do this for you.
Maybe they wanted to listen to
Spotify
Demon Slayer and
paid
not know.
listeners. Well,
You'll get Demon
I
Slayer
have
in
the
a couple weeks
microphone,
anyway.
so you'll get Demon
It's
Slayer in
fine.
a couple weeks. One of my favorite quotes from an underrated movie, this is Adam Sandler's The Wedding Singer, is when he says, "Well, sir, I have the microphone and you don't. So I'm going to say whatever I want."
He was kind of spitting there, I'm not going to lie.
It's kind of how we feel about this show, just in general. So thank you so much for joining us. Nope. I also watched this in two sittings, and I started it at like 10 p.m., and I'm gonna keep it 100. Would not recommend watching before bed, right before bed. I watched this movie in theaters with Logan, who's a friend of the show, my brother-in-law, and I remember thinking like, this is so, like, I thought I was so cool, because I never, like, thriller, like, scary, spooky movies are not my thing at all. But this one looked really good. So when, like, the beginning is, like, a little, like, it starts off kind of hot. And it, like, you're like, oh. It starts off a little scary. And so when I saw that in the theater, like, my stomach dropped, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, I really don't, because scary movies are not for me at all. But then I was like, okay, we're gonna be okay. And then I got through it and I loved it. And it ended at like 11:30 because we saw like the last showing on like a Tuesday night. And I very specifically remember some dude took my seat, even though the entire row was open, and made me like move over one. And that was a core memory because I was like,
It's kind of cringe.
what was so special about that seat that you had to sit there? Also, I reserved the middle of the theater 2 days ago. You cannot just walk in here and sit down in the middle because everyone knows that's the best for sound. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal. I just slid over because I'm passive. And so, yeah, here we are. Jordan Peele's Nope. This is your first watch through? First time? I have not heard anything of what you said. You've withheld your Letterboxd review.
Yeah. Which hurts.
I just want
it just sitting there unmarked.
It's just sitting there unmarked.
Bothers me.
It's
Just sitting
the
there
dishonesty.
unmarked for 2 days.
I just want general thoughts first from you, someone that's never seen this movie.
General thoughts.
Yeah.
What in the biblically accurate angel did I just watch? Like, for real. Not like, I know you said general, but like as soon as, spoilers for Nope, by the way, that should have been implied.
Spoilers for Nope. It's kind of a no duh, but you know.
As soon as the UFO thing like flipped open into this thing, I was like, dude, somebody likes biblically accurate angels because that's about all I can think of right now. So, general thoughts. I tried to go into this with as open of a mind as possible because it's not my type of movie. I'm not a big thriller person. I don't like those kind of movies. So to have something like this was very interesting. And it was kind of confusing for the first half hour or so because you don't really understand why they keep putting these title cards on screen and putting these random names on screen and showing you clips and yada yada yada. Like, they didn't really explain that. But then the more you go into the movie, the more it starts to make sense. Like, you understand, okay, so they're providing context. And then when you get to the last one, which is Jean Jacket, which is what they named the UFO alien thing.
Right.
You're like, oh, that makes so much sense now. So it's kind of like you have to go back and look at it. Generally speaking, I liked the movie, but I don't know if I'd watch it again. Just in the sense of it's not my type of movie. And I probably never would have watched it if you didn't pick it. So it's nice that, like, that's why I like doing the after show like this, is it gets us to branch out very much in the same way Jackson's Anime Adventure gets you to branch out into anime, into things you wouldn't have otherwise watched. I just wouldn't rewatch it because it's not my type of movie. I didn't think it was scary. I think the FNAF
really
movie was scarier than this. Like, it wasn't scary, but it was just like there were a couple like, oh, that was a little spooky, like, or that caught me by surprise, or it was really violent, like when the monkey just kills people and is like, beating them down. I'm like, okay, that was kind of weird. But okay. Or when the alien is like dumps all of the blood and stuff on the house, that was, I don't know. I got really encapsulated with the whole alien UFO thing. Like, I was like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You guys kind of deserve to get eaten. Like, I don't know. You're poking the bear. You asked for it. So,
what do you think is like the creepiest part? Because this isn't really a horror. It's more of like an action thriller, I would say.
The creepiest.
So what part got you the most?
I think probably when it like hovered over the house and just kept like, you could see all of the blood and the guts coming down the window, and like I think that was probably the creepiest part because everything else is very palatable. Monkey killing people, that's just your standard like action movie.
It's disturbing, but it's like nothing you wouldn't see in like a John Wick movie.
Right.
You know,
like it's nothing too crazy. And even then they didn't show a lot. You know what I mean? So
it was tasteful.
I think that is probably the creepiest part because you really don't at that point in the movie you don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
Because you still think, and I like how I remember when the trailers came out and they showed like the footage of the little like alien dudes walking around, and then you saw the girl with the messed up face, and everyone was like, wow, why would they give that away in the trailer? That's so dumb. And like, I went into it with that expectation of like, oh, these are the aliens. Like it is a UFO that's like dropping these aliens around and they're killing people and we got to stop the alien. And then to find out that it's not, and it's like its own thing. And OJ's like, oh yeah, I figured it out. And he's like so chill about it too. He's like, just don't look at it. It's Schrodinger's alien. If you don't look at it, it can't eat you.
Is it real?
Actually, I want to take it back. I think the creepiest part of the movie was that, but a very close second is when all of those people at the show get sucked up into it. And you like see them getting sucked in and squeezed and like hear all of their agonizing screams. That was probably the creepiest
That's the part that gets me every time because it's like, so claustrophobic.
Oh,
it is
hate
like
this. Ugh.
Yeah. It's just gross. Like I feel it because I feel myself like I can feel how tight like, the space is. And I'm like, ew. So.
Yeah. I was like, ew.
Yeah. What's your rating? Like,
what's my rating?
You haven't
good. I can put it on Letterboxd now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For context, this has been a 5-star movie on my Letterboxd for 2 years.
So I hate to tell you this.
It was my number 1 of 2022.
I gave it a 3.5.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. It's over halfway. It's a passing grade.
We need to stop pretending that 3 stars is a bad review. Like
2 stars and below
is like good.
Is a bad review.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were a couple things that threw me off. None of it really being the movie itself. It was just for some reason the amount of swearing they did just completely threw me off.
Really?
And I think it's because it wasn't like... Because there was a lot of swearing in Tropic Thunder, but it was more so like played into the comedy of that movie. Whereas Nope, it was just like part of their vocabulary. And that, to me, it felt unnecessary. Like there was a lot of swearing that felt unnecessary. And that just bothered me personally. So there was that. I also thought the sister was really annoying.
Really?
And I know that... Like,
I was going to say...
I feel like that's the point. But she's also like... I don't know. I just empathize with the brother a lot. Where he's like, you don't go promoting your side stuff on the main job. Like, that's unprofessional. Like, don't do that. And he's like... Yeah,
but that's the point.
We shouldn't be poking with this giant thing. And she's like, nah, let's set up cameras and try to get our Oprah shot. And he's like, no, this is a terrible idea. Like, I don't know. I was rooting for her to die the whole time.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that's the point because, like, you know, she has, like, a really good arc to where by the end, she's, like, they're empathizing with each other again because they kind of disconnected since their dad died. I'm also going to say, I think Keke Palmer had no business being as good as she was in this movie. Like, as an actress, she did phenomenal.
I guess so.
I think because if you also look like she was like on Nickelodeon as a kid, like
I don't
she
remember
was like
what I don't think I've seen anything else she's in for reference.
She hasn't. She's done a couple random stuff recently, but like I'm pretty sure this was her biggest role in a while, and so I don't know. I think Jordan Peele is really good at like finding those random actors and pulling them in, and we've seen that actually a resurgence in that recently, like in Oppenheimer, like Josh Peck was there, and it was like, why was Josh Peck there? And he was just like, I don't know, like it was fun. And I'm like, that's awesome. I really like that we're like kind of resurging these actors. I don't know. I thought all the performances were really good. I think that Daniel Kaluuya had a very subtle performance, which I appreciate. His character was not like big and crazy and bombastic, and like, you know, I really hate those like alpha male like best acting compilations, because it's always just dudes screaming, and it's just like whoever can scream the loudest and the hardest is the best actor, and it's like that's not true. And so I really appreciate how he was just very reserved and very subtle, but he did incredible in the movie. Like, I consider this like a really great performance.
I really liked his performance. I think that's why I liked him, because as much as I didn't like the sister, I felt like she was loud and obnoxious, and he was the polar opposite. And that's why I liked it. But also, I could really relate to that tech guy who was there, because I'm like, that's me. That's the insert character who's freaking out, because I couldn't be the brother. I really couldn't.
No.
And just like be super calm.
Like,
but I wouldn't be as obnoxious as the sister. So like to have that in between. Also, who's that random like film bro who showed up and was like, I can get the shot, and then is like, you know what, I'm gonna kill myself instead. Do it for the Vine, I guess. And then the camera gets sucked up, so it doesn't matter.
I think the tagline for Nope should have been "Do it for the Vine," because that's essentially the point of the movie.
That guy. This is so random, not to like throw it off. What I didn't understand is, why did the alien go from eating horses to people? Like, it all of a sudden, like, it was just sucking up horses every now and then all of a sudden it just switched to people.
Well, I think it's because Jupe like kind of pissed it off. You know, like when he was being all high and mighty, like thinking that he was special and could communicate with these aliens. And that was the whole, like, that's the point of the spectacle. It's like people are obsessed with the violent spectacle that he was monetizing that traumatic experience. And so he thought that he was so special, and he survived the Gordy incident because he was so special, when it was actually just an insane coincidence.
Yeah.
And so he thought that he had this deep connection with this alien thing, and he was like, they trust me. And if they didn't trust me, I wouldn't be here right now. And so they're like, screw this guy. And then he's not there anymore. So that's kind of my best explanation of that.
I guess that's makes sense. And then the siblings weren't doing any better, because they kept trying. Because that was the focal point, was they tried to get it with the fake horse and the flag. Yeah. And it spit that back out at them. And then that was when it's like, oh, okay, it's not very. I did not like that. So now what?
Yeah. See, kind of like, this is kind of, we talked about this a little bit. What do you think about, like, so we kind of talk about like the practical, like, tell me a little bit about the practical. So like, did you like cinematography, editing, like the setup, everything? And then tell me about more of the theoretical, like more of the metaphorical stuff.
The CGI of that giant alien?
No, more like
that looked pretty
like sick. It was actually really good. This movie was shot mostly practically, which I think is awesome.
That is very
cool. And I also think it's really, really cool. They shot most of the night scenes were shot day for night, which is really fascinating. Yeah. It was shot in broad daylight, and was just because then they had all the lighting information. So I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of really awesome behind the scenes pictures from this movie, because they really put a lot of care into it. So first, tell me about like like, you have a film degree. Tell me about the editing, cinematography. Like, what
Don't
did you
pretend
think
like
of
that
this?
means
Like,
anything. So
it means more than you think.
I mean, I guess so. I'm always a big proponent of doing things practically because that's what gives a movie longevity. Like, that's the reason Lord of the Rings still looks so good, is because it's very practical. They put on all the makeup and the costumes, and, like, that CGI is not going to look bad. And the little bit of CGI they did use still looks pretty decent. So, to do everything practically, and, like, obviously you can't put a giant UFO in the sky that eats people. Like, obviously that was CGI.
Right.
But if that's your only, like, big CGI thing, it makes a lot of sense to do everything else practically, especially since we weren't really in that many locations. It was the house, the amusement park, and they kept going back to that one soundstage for the Gordy incident. And then there were a couple, like, extra locations, like the store and the dude's apartment and the restaurant they go to. So there's, like, those, but those are very small scale things. So most of our time is spent at these other locations. And even then,
it's very grounded.
Like, when they're on the hill or they're in the valley, like, it's all right there. It's not like we have to keep going to these different far away locations. So it's very easy to shoot and do everything practically when everything's right there. It also helps the believability of what they're trying to do. Because if there's a lot of CGI or technical stuff involved, then it makes it feel like a movie. Whereas this almost felt like there were a lot of shots where I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be OJ's point of view or if this was like a cameraman following him's point of view. Like, is this our point of view? Because there's
a really good shot where he's, like, looking up at it, and he doesn't see it, but the camera follows it. So, like, you know stuff that he doesn't know.
Exactly. And because he says, oh, don't look at it. And I think it's when he's standing at the van, trying to get them to get in the van, and he's looking down, and this thing is, like, flying behind him, but the camera sees that it's flying behind him, and he knows it's there, but he can't turn around. Right. Because otherwise it's going to suck him up. So
it's like a boo house.
I did very much appreciate that, and how the camera was almost its own character. They're like, yes, we're following them around and doing all the normal cutting stuff, but we're also being its own character and being like, hey, we're going to follow this thing around. So there was that. I thought it was edited really well. I liked the way it was cut up. Like I said, makes sense when you go back and, like, think about it retrospectively.
Right. It makes a lot more sense if you watch it a second time. Like, knowing how it ends, it makes a lot more sense going through.
So yeah, I appreciated that. And like I said, the only CGI they used was really, honestly, at the end when it flaps out into this big, like, angel-looking thing. And then, obviously, Gordy was mostly CGI.
Yeah.
I think. There might have been a couple shots where it was an actual chimpanzee. But I would assume that
probably
most of it was CGI. Yeah. Because there's a couple, like, when he's sitting there, like, oh, that's a CGI chimp. That's not a real monkey. Like, you can tell the difference even though it looks good.
Right.
But
it doesn't look bad.
Makes sense.
Like,
they can't have a chimp actually murder people.
I hate it when movies don't do things practically.
Hate it when realism leaves
such a
movies.
Cop-out.
We can't kill an actor for this role, really?
Someone tell Alec Baldwin.
It's a role to die for, you know what I mean?
Bruh. Stop.
Just saying.
Yeah. No, I pretty much agree. I really love when movies creatively use text and, like, title cards, and I think this movie does that super well. I really like the way it's cut up to, like, kind of talk about the different animals. And so you think it's just the horses, and then it goes to Gordy, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then it goes to Jean Jacket, and you're like, wow. It's kind of like a aha moment where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I also think that this movie is very good at keeping mystery because it doesn't show the actual alien until the very end. Like, you don't see, like, if it fully expanded like halfway through the movie and then they did like a deep diagnosis on what like, you wouldn't care. And so I really like how in the shadows they kept the UFO until the very end, until they needed to share it.
It almost felt like a final boss in a video game, but like the final form of a final boss, because the alien itself is the final boss. And then when you kill the boss, you're like, yeah, we did it, because they're all like, yeah, we got the shot and whatnot. And then it comes back and it starts unfolding, because you're like, oh no, now he made it really mad. And it's like,
yeah, it's like, see. So I really, really like that. I think it's edited really well. I think it'll age very well, and I appreciate that. It's not gonna, like, you know, in 5 years we're not gonna be like, dang, this kind of looks like garbage. I think that's the sign of a good director. I think Jordan Peele is a very good director. I think Jordan Peele is very good at dark comedy, and that's part of the reason I like this movie a lot, is because there's some funny moments in this movie, but it's so messed up, you know? And so, I mean, like, Jordan Peele was on Key and Peele for, like, ever. So he's, like, a comedy genius. But my favorite Jordan Peele quote of all time is he says, "The only difference between comedy and horror is the music." And so, and I just think he has this very, very deep understanding of the genre, and in a way that I have not seen from other directors and other actors. And so he did it really well. I've heard that this is probably his tamest movie.
Really?
His other ones, yeah. So if, like, Get Out is like a psychological horror, like, straight up. Like, it's not. And then Us, I heard Us wasn't super good, but I might still watch it because I like Jordan Peele a lot. So I also like really love that Nope genre bends a lot. Like, it like goes from, it's a thriller, it's like a drama, and then it's a mystery, and then it's a thriller, and then it's a sci-fi, and then it's a western, and you're just kind of like, wow. I just think it has a really great vibe.
yeah.
Like, there's a really good brand behind Nope, and there's a really good, like, you know, Jupiter's Landing is branded really well, and you have the cloud with the, like, the little flags going out, and, like, the horses in the ranch. Like, they made sure that it felt like a real world that has a really great brand and a great vibe, and that sells it so much more. And like you said, like, it doesn't feel like a movie anymore. So I really appreciate that. Set design was on point. They killed that. All, like, the cast was phenomenal. That was really good. Tell me, now this is part of the reason I chose this movie, and it was something that I thought that you would appreciate.
Okay.
Tell me about your thoughts on the commentary, like the spectacle, as they say in the movie. Like, what was your takeaway? Like, what was your interpretation on, like, a higher level?
Oh, you mean like doing everything for the content?
Right.
Because that was the vibe I took away from this, was like, they were doing everything for the content, and it was driven by this need for money. And I think that's a lot of the reason people nowadays get into YouTube, which is not necessarily the case for us, because we do it because we love it.
Money.
But no, you're right.
There's no money in YouTube.
But people get caught up by this, like, really big thing. So, like, in the movie, they're caught up by, like, oh, we need the Oprah shot, and, like, yada yada yada. In the real world, people see, like, Mr. Beast, and, like, oh, they don't necessarily. And the problem isn't, like, it's fine to want to get paid for the work you do, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You kind of touched on that in your Spotify video of, like, hey, I should be compensated for the work that I do. That's fine. The problem is when people try to copy and do the exact same thing that other people do because they want money. It's not because they want to make the content, or add a fresh, inspiring voice to the space and like give your own thoughts. It's no, I'm going to do exactly what Mr. Beast does because he makes a lot of money
Right.
and I want to make that kind of money. And you almost miss the forest for the trees because if you've watched any Mr. Beast video or like listened to any interview he's done, you don't understand the amount of work and time and effort that he puts into that content to then make that money. He has
Right.
dozens, if not hundreds of employees that help him do what he does. It's not something that just one or two people can do
Right.
sitting in their bedroom with microphones. Like, it's a full-scale production at this point. There's a reason he's getting an Amazon Prime TV show. Like,
Right. Right.
so
Where it's kind of like you also don't understand how long he worked with no reward
exactly.
before he got to where he is now. Like, he's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Like, years. And it looks really good to, like, sit at home and be like, oh, he just hangs out with his friends all day. And, like, they play games. And then he makes millions of dollars. I could do that. That's not that hard.
Right.
And it's like, you don't get it. Like, it is that hard. And I really, really like the way that Nope tackles this, because this is a modern dilemma. The number one, like, career that kids want now is YouTuber or streamer.
Which is so wrong.
Which is so kind of disheartening, but also as a content creator, I'm kind of like, no, yeah,
I get
I
it.
understand. But you need to love it for the creative pursuit, you know, not because you idolize.
Right.
These,
And
people
there's a
that
lot of
are
people who
doing
think
it.
doing YouTube is easy when in reality,
Right.
it's really not.
It's a grind.
Like,
Yeah.
one of my coworkers asked me this week how much I spend, like how many hours I spend working on content and stuff throughout the week outside of work. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe like 20 to 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you basically
Oh.
work another part-time job. And I'm like, yeah,
For free.
for free.
For free.
And
And
they're
then
like-
once you do cross that monetization threshold, you get pennies on the dollar. Like,
Yeah. So it takes a while
Yeah.
before you start actually seeing any of the fruits of that labor. So, yeah. And then for this movie to almost have them overcomplicate it with all the security cameras and bringing the guy out there with the film and the non-electric camera, only for her to ultimately get the shot with that
with the welt.
with the like low tech, doesn't matter well camera.
Mhm. Yep.
Just says so much about not overcomplicating it, because
Right.
they set up and spent all this money on cameras and they brought the guy out there and they got the shot, but
Right. But then he got greedy.
then he was like, you know what, I got this, I'm going up.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
I will say on this rewatch, he was such an idiot. Like, I know that's the point, but I'm like, what made you think that was gonna work? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
what was his plan? Like, he
I
was
don't-
like, "Ah."
There was also a
So-
part of this movie that almost gave me like Jurassic Park type vibes,
Yes.
where it's like, this is what Jurassic Park should be, where it's creepy and you don't necessarily see the monster right away. And it's violent and you see the blood dripping down and like
Yeah.
there was just, it was especially in the house when it was raining and like
Yeah.
they're trying to avoid it. I was like, oh, this gives me big Jurassic Park vibes. And I
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
down to having the show where he's like, all right, I'm gonna let this horse go and we're gonna watch this thing eat it, and like
Right.
that's what humans get entertainment from, is watching
Right.
animals kill other animals. So it's like, I don't know, I see the Jurassic
Well, that's
Park
the point.
inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a really good parallel. And I really like, I mean, there's just some really highbrow commentary in this movie. And like, there's a lot of smarter people on the internet that could break it down for you way better than I could. But it's just like, they keep saying it in the movie, like the idea of spectacle,
Right.
where it's like, we get sucked into this like violent nature that we like are weirdly entertained by. And that's like really unsettling and creepy, but he's right.
Right.
And so I saw something that I thought was really good where they were like, the alien in this movie is literally a metaphor for Hollywood, in the sense that it's like you like think that it's so cool, but once you get too close, you get sucked in and it like ruins
Kills you.
And I was just like, whoa, like
That's kind of
Jordan
deep.
Peele knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing in this film. And like the idea of like monetizing the trauma of like that thing, and he had like the co-star that got beaten up like come out and like see the thing. It was just like
Just funny because I thought she was dead.
Apparently not. I don't know.
was
I
like,
also
oh, no, man.
got such I got such an ick from him when like this watch specifically, when I realized how awful of a dude he was, because he's like, this is my amazing wife and my kids, and he's like, I'd like to thank my old co-star and my first crush, and I was like, ugh.
Don't say that in front of your wife and kids.
Like,
what the heck?
That's disgusting. Like, what an absolute jerk. Like, ew. But like the casting was perfect, and like it like it's the kind of thing where it's like, I get the point, but that was gross.
Yeah.
Like, you did your job well because I got grossed out.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a lot to say here about like exploitation in the industry of like animals, of minorities, of minors. Like, there's just like so much metaphorical here that is like so incredibly good.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate it. I appreciate how he thought through every single like part of this and like really tied it together well in a story that didn't feel preachy. Like, you don't have to take that out of it if you don't want to. Like,
Right.
you can just be like crazy alien, raining blood, like sci-fi western. That is entirely okay to take that out of it. But he left it like, this is the sign of good writing. Is
Right.
There's subtext to literally everything, and you can take that out of it if you want, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of it just as a story.
Exactly.
And I think that's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. He just killed it. This to me is like a 5-star movie. And I understand like if it's not your style, because it's kind of wacky. Like, it's like a really, I don't know.
It's very
really
out
weird,
there.
but it's very out there. It's kind of artsy. Would you consider this artsy?
No.
It's kind of a loose term. I don't
I've
know
seen
if I
more
consider it
artsy
artsy.
films.
Yeah. This one is actually competent and makes sense, so I don't consider it artsy. But yeah, 5 stars for me.
3.5
Anyway.
for me.
3.5.
That's
Any
what I have to
closing
say.
thoughts on Nope before we share what our next movie is?
It was good. I enjoyed it, but like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't watch it again because it's just not my kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I put it in the same category as the Joker, or I'm sorry, Joker.
Okay.
Sorry,
Joker.
Because it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I did think it was good.
Right.
It's just not one of those that I feel the need to watch again. And it's
makes
not
sense.
one, which is funny because there's another thriller movie, which you haven't seen. It's Last
yeah.
Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho.
That I didn't think I was going to like, but I watched it because I thought the trailer looked interesting. And I
Mhm.
also, to be fair, didn't know it was a horror movie. It was not
Like, oh,
conveyed from the
nice.
trailer at all. So
You
then
should sue.
I watched that, and I was like, dang, that's kind of good. Like, and I bought the
You're like,
Blu-ray and
wow.
everything, and I was like, dang, that
I
was
was like, do I like horror movies?
that was good.
Wait a minute.
That was just a one-off experience, and I don't know how that happened.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, it was good. Wouldn't watch it again, though.
I appreciate that. Would you say it's a movie that you appreciate but don't enjoy?
No, because I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
It's just, I appreciated it, and I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't watch it again.
That makes sense. That is an okay thing to say. I think we need to stop pretending that it's not okay to say that is a great movie. I don't want to watch it again.
Right.
You know?
Like that has an
Yeah.
it has an intensely negative connotation to it, but it's actually kind of
Right.
fine if you
Right.
really think about it.
You
so
know? If you don't want to watch it again, then don't watch it again. You know?
it's just
Don't your life is too
simple.
short. Your life is too short to watch a movie you don't like. I've always said that.
Exactly.
So anyway, here we are, coming to the end of this episode of the Nerdiest After Show. And you bet you're wondering, what are we watching next month? Well, this is Nick's turn to pick a movie that I've never seen.
I'm
And
still so on the fence.
We kind of had this conversation where like I never considered that we could retaliate
Can weaponize
in
our
the
choices.
sense of like we can weaponize our choices, because like I was like, I really need to give him a good movie so that he wants
right.
to give me a good movie.
Let me see if there's a movie on this list that you would like but you wouldn't want to watch again. If not, I will go back to my original choice.
Dang.
There's one on here that I want to pick because it has a very similar message to
Yeah.
Nope,
To Nope.
but it's not on.
You can also change it up.
It's literally not on any streaming platform.
Do you own it?
I do on DVD. I don't even know if you can rent it on Amazon. Hold on. If you can rent this on Amazon, this one's going to be my choice. And we're going to go incredibly niche. If not,
Incredibly niche.
then we're not going to go incredibly niche. Because I don't know. If
This is the after show, you know?
Not Paramount Plus.
How did you get Paramount from Amazon?
It's a great freaking question.
I have Paramount Plus. If it's on there.
It's not on Paramount Plus. Okay, you can rent it on Amazon Prime. All right. We're going to go with that one then.
I'm so scared.
So, your movie. This will sound very familiar because it's been in a video I've done that you watched.
Okay, that I watched. You specifically said that I watched.
Well, I mean, you've watched most of the videos on the podcast channel.
Right.
Even if it's just to like quality check them.
Yeah.
So the movie we're going to be watching, it's an anime movie. Because of course it is. And it's
Because of course it is.
In the similar vein of Nope, of like making content and what that means, I'm going to recommend to you a movie that is also about making content, but more specifically about making movies.
Okay.
Because we're following this guy who goes from PA to director in the span of 24 hours. And he gets handed this script and says, all right, go, make a movie.
Go.
And it goes into all of the nitty gritty of like casting, directing, writing. What does it mean to make a good movie? And like all of the different aspects that tie it together. So we're going to be watching Pompo the Cinephile, which is one that I watched 2 years ago in my apartment with one of my college friends, and we loved it. It is a film bro movie by film bros for film bros, but also can bridge the gap of non-film bros. And like it's the one movie that I think both categories of people could like and agree that it is a really good movie and everything in it makes sense.
Okay.
So I think you'll like it. I'm excited to rewatch it. And it's not one that I could have
talked about before.
Yeah, it's not one that I could have justified doing an anime adventure on.
No.
Because I feel like anime adventure should stick with shows. Except for that one time we did the SAO movie.
We did the SAO
Except
movie.
the one time we did
We know
that.
how that went. We know how that went.
That's why I'll never do a movie on there again.
Ever
never do a movie on there again.
You know that's not true.
But I'll do movies here.
Oh my gosh.
Just know,
Well,
I just want to
guys.
threaten you with the looming presence that there is a second one of those. So just keep that in mind. It'll come out to scare you at any given time.
The
at any
Cinephile.
given time. It's only $4 to rent. I mean, honestly, hey, we can use part of the funds from the after show to pay for it too. So you don't even have to pay for it out of pocket. See, look at that. This is where your guys' funds go. Is for making more
content. This is where your funds go.
For
so
you
that
to
we
listen.
Can keep watching.
Exactly.
Pompo. I was Googling the wrong name.
I added it.
The Cinephile.
I have a letterbox list of all the movies we've done. And now it's on there.
Free
That's crazy.
It's free on Pluto TV with ads. It's one of those like super ghetto like free
really?
streaming services.
That's
what Just Watch says. Just Watch says Pluto TV with ads. Also, they do this stupid thing on Just Watch where if it's not on a service, they'll recommend a service for similar movies, but the text is really small, so it looks like it's on Crunchyroll.
But it's not.
But it just says, watch similar movies on Crunchyroll. And I'm like,
so dumb.
That's not helpful at all. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this after show. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and just being on the exclusive monthly after show. If you have a movie that you want to recommend, feel free to drop a comment, send an email, send a DM on Instagram, whatever you need. Thank you so much for your support on this show. It really, really helps us out to keep putting out high quality content for you guys because it's what we love to do. And thank you so much for joining us on this review of Nope. Tune in next month for Pompo the Cinephile. And you could watch that if you want and stay up to date with us. So, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you very soon. Until then, bye.